It's been dreary, drafty and parky here for the last few days.
But with our colourful kingfishers, our windswept kites and our cuddly kits, our cast of characters has kept our spirits high.
And I'm up in Scotland, hoping to see those kits with my very own eyes. You'll have had your tea. It's Springwatch.
Hello and welcome to Springwatch 2017, coming to you live from the Sherborne Park Estate here in Gloucestershire, run by the National Trust, and where we've been for the last week and couple of days, and for the last couple of days in the wind and the rain. And earlier today, it was sunny. It was actually beautiful here. A bit of clouds scudding across the sky. No rain whatsoever. But what's that I feel on my face, Michaela?
Oh, no, it's not raining, is it? Do you remember 2 weeks ago? We were in our shorts. It was glorious weather. We've had such changeable weather, but in solidarity with the wildlife, that's an easy word to say, isn't it? No. Solidarity with the wildlife, we're staying outside, even if it does rain.
It is raining.
Well, just spitting at the moment. I think we could cope with that. Let's check up on some of our wildlife. Let's start with our kites. Here we go. This is our live kite nest. 3 chicks, 4.5 weeks old. And you know what? We are so privileged to be able to look at this nest, because if we were doing Springwatch 50 or 60 years ago,
hold on a minute. I'd have been 6 years old and I'd have been arguing with my sister about the Ladybird Book of Kites.
And I would have been a baby. So, but the point is, 50 or 60 years ago, we wouldn't have had a hope of getting a camera on these kites. We wouldn't have even been able to see them here in Gloucestershire because they were practically extinct in the UK. Because of reintroduction around this area, we're now extremely lucky to have those cameras on them. Let's see what they've been getting up to over the last 24 hours. Well, in a little break from the weather and the rain, we had just a little bit of sunshine, and that's a jolly good time to do a little bit of preening. One of the adults comes in. They've been bringing in so many different items of prey. That's a squirrel. Normally they squabble over the food. This time they're not squabbling, but it's a little bit of a Lady and the Tramp moment, if you remember that film, with a bit of sticky spaghetti. It's sort of sticky gut spaghetti, isn't it? Who's going to win? Well, that one seems like it's, well, I think it's equal at the moment. Even Stevens, that one loses concentration, and the other sibling manages to gobble it all down. Another bit of prey comes in. And I say they're being quite polite today, but look at that little one. He's trying to get in there, and it's thinking, I'll try the through the legs technique.
He's doing a Diego Costa.
That doesn't seem to be working there. The other two are getting little tidbits, so it tries to come round the side.
It's doing a David Luiz. In a minute, it'll fall off the nest and lay dead still, rolling around in agony for at least 10 minutes.
Being a drama queen. But look, eventually patience pays off, and it gets the whole leg.
No, it doesn't. It gets a bone with a bit of dry foot on the end of it.
Well, I think it'll be able to get some meat off there and then maybe regurgitate it back up. But it's very excited. It's celebrating with a bit of wing flapping. Oh. And in fact, this is quite interesting because they'll fledge in 60 days. That's 8 weeks. They're 4.5 weeks now. So I reckon they're beginning to do a bit of branching.
They might do. End of next week, I reckon, though. Still got a bit of growing to do, get more confidence. We're enjoying a festival of raptors here at Sherborne. We've had all sorts of things, not only the kites, but also some buzzards. And they're in a woods that's about 800 to 1,000 metres away behind me here, and we can go to them live now. There's an adult at the nest we can see there. They've only got the one youngster. You can just catch a glimpse of it. Oh, there's its head peeping over the adult. And they've been doing a brilliant job of protecting that youngster from all the wind and the rain, turning themselves into an avian umbrella at times. Let's see what they've been up to earlier today, though. As Michaela said, it was sunny here this morning. In fact, this youngster had been without food for some time when the adult brought in this bowl, and it was ravenous, as you can see. In fact, it's so ravenous it thinks, just give it to me, I'm going to swallow that myself. It's got the right technique, but it hasn't quite got the gait for it yet. So the adult is losing patience with this, but the the youngster says, no, I'm definitely doing it. I can do it. No, I can't. I really can't. I can. I really can. I tell you I can. Oh, goodness me, I've made a massive error. Mum, help. And then Mum does help and she tears it up and it enjoys a little bit of vole guts there.
Determination of that chick. But that's what you call necking it down, isn't it? That's
what it would be had it managed to do it.
Done it. Let's check up on the nest we introduced you to yesterday. It's our wren nest. It's in the barn, and interestingly enough, they've built their nests in an old swallow nest. I think that's probably quite a sensible strategy with the weather as it's been, because obviously it's very sheltered. But let's see what they've been getting up to. They've actually been doing very well, and the adults have been coming in, feeding them regularly. Now, these birds have a great advantage. Because they're so little, they manage to get into little crevices that are out of reach of other birds, so they can get things like spiders and insects, even when it's raining. There are 6 chicks in there. They're a week old. So there are lots of hungry mouths to fill, and this adult has been very busy and has been feeding them extremely well. Now, do you know what? Yesterday I said the last time we had a wren nest on, we called it Sophia the Wren, and we said we can't use that again. So lots of you have come up with your own names on Twitter. I really like them. Brampton Terrier says Lauren Bacall, Hollywood actress, nice one. Karen Baytup says Malcolm McLaren, Sex Pistols manager. Lady Auntie Cathy says Ruth Rendell, who was an author. Our story developers recommended Ralph Lauren. And what about this one? Renee Zellweger. Thank you very much for all this. What are you doing? Oh, you're so rude. That's very rude to our viewers. They came up with these. I like them all. Thank you very much. And I rather like Renee. I think I'm going to call the female Renee.
Would you like to read my book? Now, many of our young birds, small birds here at the moment, are dependent on a diet of insects whilst they're still in the nest, whether the adults are seed eaters or not. And that means that at this time of year, you need an enormous number of insects. Well, Gillian has teamed up with Wet Westwood to go out onto the estate for their very own Sherborne bug hunt.
Around the Sherborne estate, some of the roadside verges are left to flourish and provide an excellent opportunity to spot some hidden gems.
So what's that one in the back there?
We've got a solitary bee called Andrena hemorrhoa. It's a very easy one to identify. It's got little white hairs underneath, beautiful little pelt of short orange hairs on the head, and then the red tail. So these are bees which, not like hive bees, they don't have a caste system where they have workers and drones and a queen. We have a female, she gathers the pollen, she mates a male, and then she goes away and makes a burrow in the ground and lays her egg on a little cake of pollen that she's put there. Very, very useful pollinator because it'll have a go at lots and lots of plants.
And it's not just flowers that attract the insects. These nettles are a great habitat too.
This is not something you would normally want to do, but Brett has found something in here.
We have 2 weevils. Can you see those? Those are nettle weevils. They're called philobius.
Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they?
They are beautiful. This is the time when they mate and lay their eggs.
Brett, I've noticed these beautiful purple flowers. This is woundwort?
This is hedge woundwort, yes. It's, as you say, it's a lovely purple-maroon colour.
What I love about this is, look at those 2.
Oh,
Right
yes.
there,
Those are
the shield
woundwort
bugs.
shield bugs. They're gorgeous creatures, and these are exclusive to hedge woundwort. Almost exclusive. I think there's one other plant, that's all.
These 2 are just absolutely settled and happy there, aren't they?
They are doing what shield bugs do in the middle of summer.
Many of the farmers also leave a wildlife margin around their fields, which is beneficial to the wildlife and their crops.
Ooh, Brett, have a look at this.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
I was hoping we'd see one of these. This is a thick-legged flower beetle. Well, you can see why it's got these enormous femurs. In fact, one of my colleagues on the team says he calls it the Schwarzenegger beetle because it's so well built.
I like that.
But the males use these legs actually to ward other males off.
And there are insects that have unique symbiotic relationships.
These are aphids that are being tended by red ants. What the aphids do is they secrete a sugary solution called honeydew, and the ants drink that. What the aphids get in return is protection. The ants are like their bodyguards. What's really lovely
is when you watch how careful and gentle the ants are when they move around the aphids. And you can see their antennae sort of tapping around, checking to see which ones are about to secrete a sugary solution for them to drink. And it's just this lovely little relationship to watch.
In just these 2 tiny patches, we've discovered a wide variety of insect life, which goes to show just how vital these spaces are for the rest of Sherborne's ecosystem.
Just those little strips, the road verges and those strips that the farmers have left down the side of their fields, is playing home to all of those insect species. Message there for county councils, highways agency: leave the verges where it's safe to do so. Obviously there are public safety concerns around roundabouts and things like that, but elsewhere they're a valuable resource. And on farms, the more of those strips we can have, farmers, the better it is for our birds, no doubt about it.
Now, we've got live cameras on lots of raptors around the estate here at Sherborne, but as we all know, we've also got a remote live camera on a peregrine nest in Salisbury Cathedral. Well, let me tell you, they've been doing
So there.
in the workshop, and
And on the underside of in the UK, when it was completely wooded pre-farming, skylarks would have been quite a rare bird. We probably would only found them along the coast or in woodland.
We can't see them right now. Now, there have been a lot of changes in their lives recently. They've been growing up, and it's fascinating to compare them with what they were like teeth on the pine marten. So we've been watching them with this camera at night, and we've seen, although they're growing up, they've still got a way to go. Look at this. Here we are on the back. A bit of squeaking. Can it do it this time? You'd think it would. That wool's nice and grippy. So it gets up to the light, and now
And it's very soft inside. It's got a lining, a nice woolly lining as well, and it's very spongy. I mean, it's got a few more sticks in the one that you can see there, but this one, I think that's gorgeous. I mean, if you put it on your head, it could be like a little pom-pom on a hat. It's lovely, that one. And moss has a hole here and a very cozy.
Yellow hammer. It was just the activity of those youngsters that have pressed it into that flat map like that.
It's actually not the last nest we're showing, because I'm going to
Modern object to connect him to nature.
Well, we couldn't have picked a better spot. RSPB Arn has 2 geocache trails and boasts all 6 UK species of reptile. Courtesy of RSPB Arn's head ranger, Rob Farrington.
Wow, that's amazing.
Smooth snakes are only found in 5 areas
camera.
Oh, you mean like this sticker that I put on your back a lot earlier today?
Honestly.
We were running out of time, you know.